It's the week of April 5th, 2022. My name is McKenna and welcome to your TNN. The National Weather Service in Phoenix predicts that Arizona is going to have a very wet and active monsoon season this summer, with nearly 70% chance of precipitation expected to each near or above normal across the southwest. Following the driest monsoon season on record in 2020, one of the wettest monsoons on the record across the southwest occurred in 2021. Many areas saw record monsoon rainfall. It was a very wet monsoon. Of course, the year before that was the driest on the record, said Marvin Pirsha, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Phoenix. Average rainfall during the monsoon of months of June through September in 2021 was 7.93 inches, which was the 20th wettest on the record since 1895. According to a review done by the Weather Service, the absolute heaviest rainfall fell near and over the mountains across the region. Monsoon seasons will begin June 15th and ends on September 30th. At least the odds are better than usual that we'll see normal to above normal rain, Pirsha said. Almost our storms are hit or miss, so even if you don't have rain, you still have dust storms, the damaging winds, and lightning as well. Now let's go over to Miss Giacovelli with Weekly Update.
Good morning, Tartesso community. Welcome to another great week. This is the week of April 5th through the 9th. Today we have coding with Mr. Wisser, TNN, and cake pops will be sold during lunch. We have our regular after school clubs and a huge announcement about tomorrow. We have field day tomorrow, so several important reminders. Make sure you're wearing your sunscreen, your grade level color t-shirt. Staff members, please make sure to vote for the banners in the cafeteria. You also have a field day folder in your mailbox with the schedule. And if there are any volunteers for field day, please notify them that they need to email, call, or see Coach Evans before 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. Wednesday, April 6th, tomorrow is an early release day at 11:15, and we will have kindergarten registration from 12:30 to 6 p.m. We will be offering fingerprinting, and there was a flyer sent with more details regarding that. Parents, if you need to make an appointment, please call our front office. On Thursday, we have McTeacher Night, which is our first in-person fundraiser in a very long time. It will be from 5 to 7 p.m. at the McDonald's on Watson. We hope everyone can join us. And on Friday, we will have counseling club with Mrs. Williams. Let's have a wonderful week.
Thanks, Miss Giacovelli. Now let's go over to Miss Williams with Counseling Corner.
Hey, Saddle Mountain. So this is a message from your counselor, Mrs. Williams. So this month we are starting a new theme, generosity. So generosity means the quality of being kind and generous. So the point of this is to be kind to others. So what is kindness? How are we kind? Well, we've talked a little bit about this throughout the year. Kindness is showing others respect. Kindness is being helpful when you can. So this month I want us to, of course there's a challenge, I challenge you guys to let me know how we're showing generosity and kindness to one another. I want us to be kind to our teachers. I want us to be kind to our family. I want us to be kind to ourselves. So this month we're going to talk about what that can look like and some ways that we can show generosity to one another. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys on your challenge on how we can show kindness and generosity to each other and to our families and to ourselves. And I look forward to seeing all of your great smiling faces out there in the schools. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks, Miss Williams. Now let's go over to Austin with sports news.
Welcome to sports. My name is Austin. The Diamondbacks wrap up their spring training today with final game against the Guardians. They will host the Padres for their home opener this Thursday to kick off the regular season with 4 games at home. The Arizona Coyotes have just a few weeks remaining in what they knew would be a rebuilding year. They have traded away most of their players from last season, but are looking at making about 8 picks in the first 2 rounds of the NHL draft this season. With any luck, their picks will turn out to be strong future players, and the Coyotes will be back as a playoff contender in a couple of years. The Suns have locked up the best record in the league for this season. They are looking forward to the playoffs, especially now that Chris Paul has returned from injury. The Suns are currently the team to beat and are NBA favorites to win the championship this year. That is all for today. See you next time on Sports News.
Thanks, Austin. Now let's go over to Chris with entertainment.
Welcome back to Entertainment News. I am Christopher. The Festival of Tales is a fun day of literacy, and cultural events for children that include storytelling, arts and crafts, games, painting, live music, food, trucks, and much more. It is returning for its 9th year at Paradise Valley Community College. The event brings books to life through the art of storytelling and provides free books to children who participate in the activities. This event will be held on Saturday, April 23rd from 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you are looking for something a little closer to do at home this weekend, check out the Bike Buckeye event. You can join the mayor and your neighbors for a friendly bike ride around Sundance. The Bike Buckeye will feature bike safety checks and a kids course and a bike ride around Sundance with the mayor. Everything starts at 8:30 a.m. on the 9th. Check out the events page on buckeyeaz.gov for more information. That is all for Entertainment News. See you next time.
Thanks, Chris. Now let's go over to Izzy and Skylar with Joke of the Week.
Hello and welcome to Joke of the Week. My name is Izzy.
And I'm Skylar.
Okay, Skylar, what's your joke?
What's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
I don't know. What is worse?
Finding half a worm in your apple?
Great joke. If you have a joke and would like to tell it on the news, please go to smusd.me/beyondthenews, and we would love to have you on.
See you next time on Joke of the Week.
Thanks, girls. Now let's go over to Fun Fact Trivia with Mika and Mateo.
Welcome to Fun Fact Trivia. My name's Mateo.
And I'm Mika. Did you know that today is National Read a Roadmap Day? It occurs every April 5th. The earliest roadmap, Britannia Atlas, was drawn by John Olby in 1675. Fast forward a few centuries, and my how things have changed. With satellites, GPS, and voice commands, do we know how we get anywhere anymore?
Road maps are still a useful tool. Should batteries run low or a satellite connection becomes lost, we will need to rely on a current road map to keep us on course. The day reminds us to take some time to sharpen those map reading skills. Take notice of your surroundings. Do you know north from east? If not, it's a good time to learn.
Your question today is, while the first road map was made in 1675, how old is the oldest printed map known to exist?
A, 3,200 years old.
B, 4,500 years old.
Or C, 5,700 years old.
You have 10 seconds to make your decision. said A, 3,200 years old. You are correct.
It's called the Turin Papyrus map from about 1160 BC, found in Egypt. It shows travelers where to go in relation to the rivers of the area.
Fun fact, a map maker is called a cartographer. See you next time on Fun Fact Trivia.
Thanks, guys. Now let's go over to This Week in History with Galen and Bree. Hello and welcome to This Week in History. I'm Bree.
And I'm Gin. On April 5th, 1792, George Washington used the first presidential veto of the congressional bill. The bill introduced a new plan for dividing seats in the House of Representatives that would have increased the amount of seats for northern states.
After consulting with his politically divided and contentious cabinet, Washington, who came from the southern state of Virginia, ultimately decided that the plan was unconstitutional because, in providing for additional representatives for some states, it would have introduced a number of representatives higher than the prescribed by the Constitution.
Washington exercised his veto power only one other time during his 2 terms in office. In February 1797, the former commanding general of the Continental Army vetoed an act that would have reduced the number of cavalry units in the army.
See you next week on This Week in History.
Thanks. Now let's go over to Science Time with Helen and Kendall.
Welcome to Science Time. My name is Kendall.
And I'm Halen. A huge plume of dust and sand from the Sahara Desert swallowed up parts of Europe in mid-March. The storm blew into Spain on March 14th, turning the skies into a weird rusty orange color and covering the ground and vehicles with fine sand particles. The thick dust layer stayed in the air for several days, causing officials to issue extremely poor air quality ratings in the capital city of Madrid and across large parts of Spain's southeast coast. While Spain had the worst of the sandstorm, its impact was felt across a large part of the continent, from Portugal to Germany to the United Kingdom.
The dust plume turned to pristine white snow in the French Alps. Orange enabling skiers and snowboarders to create colorful lines across the soft powder. Meanwhile, a downpour in Paris, France, blanketed roads and cars with blobs of mud. Fortunately, the event was short-lived and a distant memory by the end of the week. Though dust storms can be destructive and cause respiratory issues, for some they have many benefits. The dry air resourced with the Saharan air layer can stop storms from gaining strength during the summer hurricane season in the Atlantic Ocean. The sand also brings much needed phosphorus, an essential ingredient for plant growth, to the Amazon rainforest.
See you next week with more Science Time.
Thanks, girls. Now let's go over to Alexis with Word of the Week.
Welcome to Word of the Week. My name is Alexis. This week's word is palatable. Palatable is a verb and it means agreeable or acceptable to the mind's or one's taste. Here's how you can use it in a sentence. The soup was too bland for my taste, so I added some salt and pepper to make it palatable. See you next time on Word of the Week.
Thank you, Alexis. That is all for this episode of TNN, and now let's see you next week.